question, would you sign a contract with a restaurant before leaving with your leftovers? You know, the old doggy bag. A Wellington eatery by the name of Two Grey, I believe they're attached to the 5-star Intercontinental Hotel. They've adopted the practice, you see. They are asking customers to sign, date, and even timestamp an agreement before departing with the food. It reads, in taking away the food detailed below, you acknowledge that you should be responsible for the safe transportation and storage of the food, and understand that the agreement is on the basis that we accept no liability in respect to this food once removed from the premises. It goes on to describe the correct refrigeration and even how long you should keep such food before, you consume it or chuck it out. As well as the time and the date, the agreement records the food being taken away and even the name of the staff member involved. Sounds over the top. Why are they doing it? Marisa Bidois, Chief Executive of the Restaurant Association, joins me now. Marisa, good afternoon.
Hello.
Would you sign it, Marisa?
Well, look, I would, just because I always love taking home anything left over that I'm really enjoying when I'm eating out. So yeah. I probably would, yeah. And I think the thing is that these businesses, there's a handful of businesses that have sort of adopted this practice. And it's really around potentially having a few issues with people sort of maybe not feeling so great after taking food home. And it sort of irons out that confusion, I guess, in terms of where does that responsibility lie?
Because there's no standards. Well, there are standards of food, I get that. But are there laws in New Zealand that require establishments to do this? I mean, they could just hand over the doggy bag and say, thanks, goodbye. I mean, they don't have,
they could.
They don't have to do it, do they? Yeah.
That's right. You're right there for sure. And it's definitely no legal requirement for a business to do that. And once, technically once someone leaves the restaurant with their doggy bag or their leftovers, the responsibility of that sort of sits with the customer who's taking it home.
So Two Grey's not the only restaurant doing it. I saw there was a Korean one in Auckland that's been doing it for quite some time, for about 4 years, and they've got all the records to prove it. Now, I've got my thoughts on why they're doing it, and I think it's because, they've had consumers now, people now, can badmouth establishments on social media so quickly and give them a bad rating, right? And even if nothing has gone wrong, they're just people like that. And so are they doing this but you still can't stop people being, D-heads on social media. But maybe it's to stop people ringing back up and saying, as soon as I got home, I ate a bit more and then I was throwing up all night. I expect a refund or I want to come in next week with my friends and we want it free. Is this is this why they're doing it, do you think?
Yeah, look, we've had a couple of conversations with some of the establishments that are doing it, and it is as a result of having some, I guess, issues like that come up, where people have kind of come back and said, hey, I've gotten sick from this, you need to provide, sort of a refund on the bill and all sorts of different things that might come up in those circumstances. So it really is just to kind of outline, look, this food is to be eaten here. If you take it home, then this is how you should be reheating it. And, if you are going to keep it, don't save it for weeks afterwards, consume it reasonably quickly after the fact. So, I guess it's just outlining some of those points that aren't always clear to everyone. Maybe, people don't necessarily always think about that.
I think it's kind of sad that, that they've got to point that out to people. Self-responsibility is no longer in society, I feel. What about the feedback from your members, Marisa, from the Restaurant Association? Do they think it's a bit of a good idea? Have you heard feedback from them, or is it's just novel to one or two restaurants or a few of them?
Yeah, the feedback we've had is that at this stage, it's sort of probably working specifically for a few of the businesses, but probably not something that everyone's going to be taking on. Some businesses will also have like a sticker that they put on, say, a takeaway doggy bag, just to sort of say, hey, this is what we recommend in terms of, heating it up later, or there's no liability on us, it's up to you, kind of thing. I've seen members have told us about other mechanisms that they use to kind of communicate that to customers, but the majority don't say anything at all.
No. There was a stage there on the flip side, Marisa, where restaurants wouldn't allow you to take food home. Again, probably because they didn't want any recourse or, in case.
Yes.
Remember, I think it was Mekong Baby in Ponsonby in Auckland. And I thought that was reversed, but there was a while there that they said, no, do not ask for a doggy bag, we're not going to let you take it. And then I thought, well, hang on, I paid for it. And there's so much food waste in the world. Don't you risk people not wanting to eat here if I can't finish my meal and I'm not allowed to take the food home that I paid for?
Yeah, exactly right there. And I think there was a bit of misunderstanding in some establishments exactly sort of where that responsibility lied as well. And we did a recent survey, and the majority of our businesses, like over half, are actively promoting the fact or asking people if they want to take their leftover food home, which is a great turnaround to what it was, even sort of 5-10 years ago, really, because like you say, food waste is a real issue. So that's something we're trying to kind of normalize, I guess, with our members, is to say, hey, it's not a bad thing to, be offering that opportunity for people to take leftovers home.
And so in general terms, Marisa, how is the hospo? How's the restaurants going out there in 2025? Because what was it? Survived to 25, and then it was...
yeah.
And then what's the other saying? What's one for next
year?
There
was another one too.